You let us know.
1 minute.
We can fix it. We can always fix it.
As long as the race is not on. Right. So the race is over.
As soon as
Seconds, if you're right.
just make sure we
It's not a long race, is it?
because we can't hear each other.
We're right to go.
Okay. And here we are at Graham Road, Aspley. Beautiful Saturday afternoon in Brisbane for NEFL TV and round one of the NEFL competition for 2018. It is Aspley Hornets at home to the Gold Coast Suns. I'm Michael Price. With me in commentary is the great man Mark Kennedy, sporting a cracked left arm, but it's got nothing to do with your tonsils. Welcome, Kanga.
Yeah, good to be here, Pricey, and a cracking day here. Talking about cracking arms, it's a cracking day here at Graham Road. It's great conditions, a little bit of breeze coming towards us where we're sitting in the commentary position, but as a round one contest, I think this is going to be one of the best we're going to see.
Yes, of course, it's Aspley versus Gold Coast last year, 2017, the two games they played. The Gold Coast had the ascendancy. We're here for NEFL TV with our broadcast partner, Bar TV, and proudly supported by Elastoplast. We've got the encyclopedia of Queensland footy in Bob Batty with your special comments. G'day, Bob. It should be a cracker today.
Yeah, g'day, Michael and Kanga. It's great to be here. Yeah, round one. You miss footy right throughout the summer, don't you? And as soon as the leather comes out, it gets the nostrils flared and off we go. But it's fantastic to have footy back, and I'm looking forward to this game. 15 listed players for the Suns today. They'll be competitive, and I'm looking forward to seeing the 10 new players for Aspley. It's John Blair's got to mould a good team out of that group.
Yeah, 16 new recruits for Aspley over the whole off-season, and I suppose headlined by the AFL players that have come in to the Aspley squad. Kanga, we've got Jake Spencer, the ruckman from Melbourne. A great inclusion is Andrew Swallow, the former North Melbourne captain. And then, of course, you've got Jono Freeman from the Brisbane Lions back into the list as well.
Well, I think you're right, Pricey, and that's exactly, I suppose, where Aspley fell down the last couple of years. I don't think they probably had the ruck depth that they wanted, a little bit of an extra midfielder to compete with those AFL-type sides, and then that key forward to straighten them up, to be able to bring the ball to ground at the right times when they have to go to a 50-50 contest, or they need a big contested mark that Jono Freeman or Jake Spencer can push forward and do that when he might be resting. The other thing for me is that I'm looking for the speed on the outside for Aspley. They're a little bit one-dimensional the last couple of years through the middle of the ground. I'm looking for that speed through the inside, through that midfield, and I think if they can have that through some of their other recruits, and particularly the Tasmanian boys coming in, that they will actually be right around the mix in season 2018.
Yeah, Bobby, there's 5 new Taswegians playing for Aspley as well. They brought in Will Gowers from the Swans Academy, some talented players from the QAFL, including young Sherwood Magpies junior Will Fletcher, apparently a player to watch. Is there any others that you'd like to highlight for us?
Yeah, look, certainly the Tassie boys, as you mentioned, a couple of Glenorchy premiership players there in Pearce and Arnold. They're both very good players. Look, I'd just like to see the continual improvement of Jordan Hayden. Thought he had a very good year last year, and he's another Tasmanian that's done very well. And they've got Billy Beardsall from St Albans in Victoria, and he's very clever around goals. So, look, they've got certainly some players that they're going to still rely on, though, as Ben Warren and Matty Payne. They need big games from those two as well.
And, of course, Gold Coast Suns have got the new coach in Nick Malcheski. He's had a pretty good start in the head coaching role. 3 practice wins out of 3, of course, a couple of them against QAFL opposition. But I suppose winning form's good form. Yeah,
it is. And Brisbane, was one of those sides that the Gold Coast Suns beat. Aspley, if we're going to draw a little bit of a form line, they actually went down to the Brisbane Lions, although I know they played 2 real different sides in the halves against the Lions there. So if you draw a form line, you'd suggest that the Gold Coast Suns might go in favourite, but I'm actually leaning towards Aspley today, just from a little bit of continuity and on their home deck.
Bobby, what do you reckon?
I think Gold Coast Suns will just have that little bit of an edge, but there's not going to be much in it. Always hard to win here at Graham Road for visiting teams.
I'll call the Gold Coast, but I reckon it's going to be close. They've never won a round 1 match in the NEFL. Back in 2012 and 2013, they had byes in round 1, so that's probably a statistic that's a little rubbery. But we're off on round 1 here on NEFL TV with our broadcast partner, Bar TV. Thanks to Elastoplast, the opening bounce with the great man, Mark Kennedy.
And we're underway here at Graham Road. Nichols it is. He went high. Spencer's there. Spencer got his hands on it. And then Reece Toy takes it out of the middle. Goes towards Ben Warren. He thought a teammate was going to come to it. So he sort of pulled out there. Mackenzie Willis is there. And there's plenty of players around the contest. Barlow lays a tackle. We're going to be held up here. And the first ball up of the match. So Aspley off to a good start with a good clearance. Nichols gets it down. Not to the advantage of a teammate. Plenty of players around the contest. Toy's in there again early. The Gold Coast Suns, they wrap up players, one of which on that occasion is Harrison Pearce, the man from Glenorchy, one of the many Tasmanians. And we'll have another ball up just inside Aspley's forward 50.
So the wind is favouring the northern end, which is left of screen here on Neefle TV. At the back, Spencer. Slap the ball down. Handball forward. Aspley moving forward. Cleland smothered. Well done there. Ball over the boundary line in front of the scoreboard, right on the 50-metre arc, right half forward. We'll get a throw in. No score after a minute of play here at Graham Road. Beautiful conditions, as we say. The field looks in very, very good nick as well. Had a little bit of rain over the last couple of weeks here in Brisbane. Nichols works his way to the front, just drops it at his feet, goes and does some groundwork himself, dives on the ball. Aspley players appealing for it, several bodies on it. The umpire's having a really good look here. Hugs himself and says, we'll ball it up. It's moved around about 5 metres infield.
So the ruck contest again, Nellis. He went early, but Nichols with the bigger body just stood there and palmed it down. Again, plenty of players on the contest. Barlow fed it out, but not to anybody in particular. Now, having his kick smothered was Scrimshaw, and we'll go again. This time, the boundary umpire will throw it in. So tense and tight early, which you'd expect in a round one contest, Bobby.
Yeah, certainly do. Like these matchups, Leslie on Freeman, Barlow and Swallow, Nichols and Spencer obviously in the ruck, and Lonergan Payne. Should be good matchups.
So Payne tries to come through off the Nellis hit out, but it's sharked there by Barlow. Barlow comes down. Powell is there, but Lawrence it is who gets front spot, or the advantage at least. Gets around Nutting, but handballs into that man. Now Lawrence again, right in front of us here, and he's lying on top of it. Umpire will say, that is mine, and we'll ball it up yet again. The ball's come back to the middle of the ground, albeit on the wing on this commentary side of the ground.
Looks like Dougie Lawrence has lost a little bit of weight in the off-season as well. Spencer slaps the ball down in the path of Toy. Gets a kick away, even though tackled. It's cleared there for the Gold Coast by Jacob Dawson. Up to centre half forward. Punch away by Hampton for Aspley. Rove nicely there. Chipped out by Stanley. Goes out now to Henry Joyce. Long kick to left half forward. That's a good mark. Juggling effort by Jono Freeman. Curls back around onto the right shoe. Kicks it in the Nellis direction. He had really no right to mark that. 2-on-1. Nice hands. Directly in front of goal. 25 metres out, Bob Batty.
Yeah, very good work. Firstly by their back line. A bit of pace that you mentioned, Kanga. Certainly Hampton and Henry Joyce will add a little bit of that. Great mark by Jono Freeman. That'll give him a lot of confidence. And his matchup is not against Leslie, it's against Spencer. And Nellis is on Leslie.
And Nellis bangs it through for Aspley's first goal of the day, the first goal of the match. 3.5 minutes gone. It's the Hornets, 1 straight 6 to the Suns yet to score.
Well, it's James Nellis. I think I said late last year he was probably the most improved player in the Neefle. He's usually playing that hit-up half-forward type role, and he's going to be able to play that with great aplomb this year in 2018 because Jono Freeman is that stay-at-home target for them more so this year, and both of those players are involved very nicely in that build-up to that goal.
Yeah, look, that's a good confidence builder for James, isn't it? Because he's on a good player. Leslie's had a very good year last year, and they rate him highly down there at the Suns.
So Aspley with the opening salvo of season 2018. The ball recalled. So the ball will be thrown up in the air by the umpire. Spencer and Nichols. You could have seen them in AFL ranks last year. With Spencer at Melbourne. And Nichols, of course, with the Suns and still there. Good quality ruckman. They'll go at it again. Spencer on that occasion. Nichols, though, does the follow-up work. Just gets a toe to it to get it going his way. Jackson Allen, he's tackled, but comes through. Payne just handballs it off to Willis. Now the ball is just pushed forward. That time by Barlow. Didn't really go anywhere too much. Brody. He overruns it. Couldn't quite take it with him. Now the plenty of players come back in around the contest. One of them's Reece Toy, and he's trying to actually move the ball forward but can't do so. And the umpire will call for a ball up, centre half forward for the Gold Coast Suns.
You just noticed Brody copped a real hard one there. He's going to be looking for petrol tickets, I think.
Inside 50, Schoenfeld. Ball bounces away from him, so the Aspley defence should hold sway. It's turned over, though. They've got the numbers here, the Gold Coast Suns. It's going to go back inside 50, but in a scrubby fashion. So, again, Aspley will have the ascendancy, but the umpire's called holding the ball there, trying to break the tackle there. It was Jack Stanley. Couldn't quite do it, so Emmanuel Baru has the ball. Chips it over, coming back inside. Mackenzie Willis kicks it across. Sorry, it was Connor Nutting kicked it straight across the face of goal and one behind result. So it's going to end up being another score, but one behind for the Gold Coast, one straight to Aspley, one behind to the Suns. As Jackson Allen's going to bring the ball back in for the Hornets. He's looking for Gavin Gross. Just a little bit ill-directed, slapped across the boundary line. We'll get another throw in at left half forward for the Gold Coast.
Mentioned those 7 academy players. Sean Hart really rates their tackling pressure and their defensive pressure, and that was a great tackle from Emmanuel Baru.
So Spencer has got the better of Nichols on that occasion. Good tackle laid there by Ives on that occasion. The umpire is just posturing for holding the ball and then just gave it away that exact way. Payne to Gross to Eddie Mellon. So at half back, commentary side of the ground, Eddie Mellon is looking for an option, looking inboard, but decides to go up the line. Kicks it long and high. Freeman's got 3 to beat and did well to at least get it to ground. Nichols just sits on his opposite number, Pearce. Ives just trying to work it through, just toes it along, not far, only 5 metres. And right in front of us, Shear and Toy and Nichols just acquaint themselves. And a little bit of push and shove. Barlow's in there as well. And underneath it all's Harrison Pearce saying, boys, let me up. I've got to get up sometime.
Some experience there. Nichols over the back of Spencer. Gets the tap down. Picked up there by Gowers, who toes it forward. Nichols involved very physically in the early part of the game, doing a lot of groundwork for a big man. He took Callum Castledine down there.
Castledine didn't shirk the issue. He was happy to put the tackle on.
Absolutely no problem there. Nichols and Castledine again. Nichols tapped it to Castledine and then got him down on the ground again. Very tight work from a lot of the players right in front of the coaches and commentary boxes here at Graham Road, Aspley. You've got the Hornets leading by 5 points. 8 minutes gone, first term here on NEFL TV with our broadcast partner Bar TV as well.
So Spencer got it off to Joyce. He was tackled, but the ball now ends up with Swallow. They found a bit of space. Stanley now off to Clearland. Clearland with the short kick doesn't find his target. His target on that occasion was Warren. Now Freeman just shrugs one off. Ball comes down to Mellon. He usually likes to barge his way through, but can't do a swath of Suns. And we'll have a ball up just 15 metres away from Aspley's goal. Nellis bustles his way forward in the contest. Plenty of players around there. Spencer does well to Barlow. They'll get the ball out of their defensive 50. Ball punched away. It's right near the boundary line, and we'll throw the ball in, will the umpire. So 60 metres around that outer side with Aspley attacking.
Yeah, you wouldn't want them owe any money to certainly the 2 midfielders there, Barlow and the Swallow, the 2 boys that are playing on each other in the midfield. Gee, they're tough, aren't they? Tough as nails.
Well, there you mentioned Barlow. He gave the handball off. It's kicked long. Dougie Lawrence over the head of him. He goes back, butters up, tries to get through a couple of tacklers. Ball's actually taken off him. Umpire says holding the agate, and Timokai Bowie takes the free kick. Tries to measure a pass, but it's ill-directed. Nicely cut off there. And young James Ives has the ball at left half back for Aspley. He's looking to go even wider. Finds the big fella in Jake Spencer. Interesting story. His wife's water broke earlier this morning, so it was touch and go whether he or Will Walbers, the emergency, was going to feature today. But Jake ended up taking the chocolates there. And good luck to he and his family as they go through a very important part of their lives. Jacob Dawson kicks it forward for the Gold Coast.
So Lonigan. He finds Shear. Shear with the short one finds Scrimshaw. On that left, just drills it. Can't find the target, but well done by Dawson. Or in fact, it was Foster. He goes out wide. Just messing around with it at half back here at the moment. The Suns kick it in the middle. Now they turn it over. In those white boots, the former Kangaroos captain in Andrew Swallow. And now towards Mellon. Mellon, he'll kick it inside forward 50. It looked an awkward ball, but Jono Freeman took it on the chest nicely. And he'll back himself here. He's within, I suppose, his range. He'll have to kick it from about 53, Bob.
Yeah, look, his best kick will get it there, but he can do some helicopters, though, from this distance into the breeze. You wouldn't be overconfident, but, gee, he's looked pretty dangerous up there for them, so confidence would be up.
So looking at the flags, they are pushing in towards the commentary box. He loads up from 53, gives it an absolute thumping, the ball. And the man from Noosa, Jono Freeman, used to doing the beach curls on Main Beach up there at Noosa, doing some leg extension work in the off-season to kick his first and Aspley's second for the day.
Yeah, great goal, wasn't it? You mentioned it was within his range, and he went back and kicked it beautifully. It just went through goalpost high. No one could get anywhere near it, and confidence levels for the big fella be sky high. He's had a little bit of a niggle with the groin in the lead up to this game, and the way he kicked that doesn't look like there's any problem whatsoever.
So it's the Hornets, 2 straight 12 to the Suns, 1 behind. Now Freeman, after kicking that goal, goes into the ruck to give Jake Spencer some relief. Nichols wins the tap. It's picked up by James Ives. He shoots a handball out, picked up by Swallow, gets a handball away under a lot of pressure, but it's turned over. Shear kicks it inside 50 for the Suns. Gross chases it. He's got Dreghorn on his hammer, takes it over the boundary line. In the right forward pocket for the Suns, there will be a throw in. You can see those flags there, and it's a bit of a fluky breeze. Looks like it's coming straight across the ground now, but might have just aided Jono Freeman in that last goal-kicking effort. So the throw in. Freeman versus Dreghorn in the ruck. Slap down in front of Swallow. Can't quite pick it up. He does now. Wheels out of the pack beautifully. The left foot close to the boundary line. In fact, over the boundary line. It's out of bounds on the full. The Gold Coast will get the free kick. Just forward of centre wing. And they'll go into attack again.
So Harrison, late inclusion today for Damien Burke. And kick isn't a good one as Nellis comes down a half back. It's the ball out, just chips it. Looked to be quite neat. Doing well on that occasion was Will Gowers, a former Swans Academy boy. And the ball knocked away from him and over the boundary line, so we'll have it thrown in. So big move for Will Gowers to come up to Aspley and really try and put his foot forward. And, of course, a little bit of form for the Aspley side in terms of Oscar Baker doing well and getting drafted this year, as we'll have a free kick. It'll go the way of the Gold Coast and Nichols. Loading up on that occasion was Wigg.
Wigg inside 50. Over the back, Dougie Lawrence got his hands to the ball. Picked up there by Hayden. Shoots a handball over the top. Brody intercepts for the Gold Coast. It's a wild handball from he. Lawrence goes in for Aspley. Gets tackled to the ground. Good effort there. The Gold Coast defence. Gold Coast attack keeping the ball inside 50.
Bowie, the tackler there, Pricey, it was very good from the academy player.
Some physicality from a young bloke. And it's Brody who takes the ball over the boundary line. We'll get another throw in.
You can see the real defensive pressure around the footy for Gold Coast that Stewie Jews put into this Gold Coast Suns outfit, and they really started well.
Freeman slaps it down, picked up there by Ballard. Kicks it across to a dangerous spot, but it's going to favour Aspley. Well done there by Hayden. Gets the handball off to Gross. Gross tries to chip it towards Stanley. Dropped the mark and then nicely smothered there. Was that Bokey as well. He's done a couple of good things as well. Right half forward, the Gold Coast Suns have it now. Trying to steady up. Looking for a bit of movement inside 50. It was Shear. Look for Lonigan. Punched away from him by Warren, but no, he'll take a free kick. Lonigan, the big fella. Ben Warren saying to the umpire, that's what I did. He was trying to fist the ball away. It didn't touch him, but it's a free kick. And Jesse Lonigan will have a shot from about 35, 40 metres out directly in front.
Great work there from Emmanuel Baru, it was, on that far side, who did one-on-one there with the big fella in Jack Stanley and took him to the cleaners and kicked the ball nicely into half-forward for Lonigan to have a chance.
So Jesse Lonigan, originally from Launceston, taken in the 2012 draft at number 13. Let's go from 45. Starts it right. The wind's bringing it back a bit, but straight through the middle. Goal umpire did not move. That's the first goal for the Gold Coast Suns. And the score now, the Hornets 2 straight 12 to the Suns 1-1-7. We've played nearly 16 minutes of the first term on NEFL TV.
Well, the pressure around the contest has been enormous, hasn't it? On the tackling stats, the Suns have had 23 tackles already to Aspley's 6. There's probably a little bit the fact that Aspley have had a little bit more of the possession, 40 to 34, inside 50s, just slightly going the Gold Coast way, 5-4. But again, Aspley, they still hold sway by 5 points regardless. So the middle of Graham Road, that's where we are this afternoon. Thanks for joining us. And that'll be recalled, that bounce. So it'll go up again. So it is Dreghorn. I answered the question of who the backup ruckman's going to be to Tom Nichols. It'll be Dreghorn versus Spencer. As you'd imagine, Spencer, with a little bit more experience, gets the tap away. Willis does well. Ball fed out. Now to Lonigan, the goal kicker. Got it from Scrimshaw. Just chips the ball up. Spencer, he got the big fist to it. Now they're away. Here's Toy. Kicks the ball inside. Unable to take it on that occasion was Buchner. Now Aspley working hard. That was Swallow in there. Now Max Spencer. And that was a throw by Scrimshaw, not picked up by the umpire on that occasion. He just tunnelled it that way. Taking a ground there was Payne. No call there either. A little bit unlucky on that occasion, Aspley, I think. And the umpire now will come in and ball it up. What do you think of that one? A bit of a throw there from Scrimshaw.
As he was taking possession, I think he got his arm knocked or bumped, so I think he gave the benefit of that. But, gee, it's close in tight, isn't it?
Yeah, body's going everywhere. Brody gets the ball, loses it. Payne in and under, as he always is. They're all on top of him. Umpire will ball it up 45 metres out from the Aspley goal. Very tight in the clinches here at Graham Road. It's a beautiful day for footy here on NEFL TV. And Aspley leading it by 5 points with 18 gone in the first term. It's Nellis in the ruck, propels it towards goal. That's Toy actually took his opponent down in Foster. The ball spills again and we'll ball it up a couple of metres from where the last one happened. So the majority of players inside Aspley's attacking 50. So the Gold Coast have really jammed it up here for them. Nellis in the ruck, slaps it down. Overrunning it there was Gowers. Picked up by Lonigan. Chain of handballs now. Comes out Ballard. Scrimshaw. Now it's Mackenzie Willis who hoofs it down the wing. Gross could have double grabbed it. Nothing happening there. Powell controls it. Gets it inside to Foster. Chips a pass. Oh, beautifully intercepted there by Buchner. Runs through. It wasn't Buchner, sorry. Hampton runs straight through to centre half forward. Now Nellis tumbles. Takes the mark. Sees the lead of Buchner. He's the one I was after before. Goes towards the boundary line. We'll get a throw in the left forward pocket for Aspley.
What about young Lonnie Hampton coming through defensively there, Bob?
Yeah, no, very good mark, wasn't it? It looked like the Gold Coast boy had the drop on him, but he read the ball beautifully in flight, Lonnie Hampton, the boy from initially NT, and he's been everywhere. Giants, Geelong, Albury, you name it.
Just tapped down the front of the pack. Here's Toy. Went on hands and knees and got up quickly. Ball fed back. Castledine. Here's that man Hampton again. He just tried to slip the tackle, but he copped one high. Probably a little bit fortunate. Did a bit of the Selwood shrug there.
Yes.
And he'll go back. And he fancies his chances, and he'll have to kick it from 45 metres out. Not a hard angle.
Yeah, a bit unlucky then, Brad Shear. I thought it was not far off a legal tackle there. But anyway, good luck to Lonnie. going to test him, I think, this distance, but...
So 25 years old is Hampton. He starts at left, and it just stays just enough left to hit that goalpost. So only a minor there, and they extend the lead to 6 points.
So the Suns to bring the ball back in through Mackenzie Willis. Out to the boundary, and that's a nice mark.
Spoil.
Or spoil, I should say. Would have been a mark if he put it in both hands instead of fisting it over the boundary line, Bob. It's early on in the season, round one. We're all dusting off the vocal cords and whatnot as the boundary umpire throws it in on the 50. Spencer works his way to the front and just offloads it there to Callum Castledine, who puts it up inside 50. And just reading it nicely there, Jack Scrimshaw. Of course, the Gold Coast Suns you'll see wearing two the black armbands. One's for Jack Scrimshaw's auntie who passed, and the other one's for Josh Schoenfeld's grandparent who also passed away.
So they get it out to the halfback, outer side. Warren lays a big tackle on that occasion on Boakey, and he will win the free kick. So the Hornets, they can take it back inside forward 50. They chose to go to the outer side. This is Payne, right out wide. Former NEFL MVP winner. That's probably not the best option to go to one of the shortest men on the ground in Malin. And it is the Gold Coast Suns defensively who can take it away. They go up towards Shear, and the ball just can't quite be grasped in his mitts and rolls over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in. It's backward to centre. Aspley is still attacking on the outer side.
It's very hard to get an idea as to which way that wind is blowing, isn't it? I think it's gusty. It's, as you said, across the ground a bit and doesn't favour either end.
A little bit swirly. That's Henry Joyce got the handball out now. Aspley trying to clear it. It's Harrison Pearce, kicks it inside 50. Big pack of players. Suns with the numbers there. And it will be cleared, but Henry Joyce gets in the way again. Takes the mark, 70 metres from goal. Now he puts up a high ball with his right foot at the back. Freeman, good mark at the front. Max Spencer, good quality hands.
Well, the kick just didn't go to the right spot, did it, to give Freeman a chance?
No, he started from a long way back in that jumping contest. Now Spencer kicks it. Well, Gross sort of controlled the pack in midair, if that's possible. Ball hits the deck, and several will be on top of it. We'll get another ball up. Just on right half forward for Aspley. They are pressing. They're leading by a goal.
Yeah, good mark there from Maxie Spencer. He's very underrated, off the rookie list, through the Suns Academy, and he's got good raps on him down there at the Suns.
So the clearance taken there by Gowers. The kick, a bit of a scrubby one around the corner. Gained some ground, but no real great effect other than getting over the boundary line and starting again with a throw in. So players can try and readjust to get a clearance, either defensively or offensively in the case of Aspley. Spencer gets to the front spot. Castledine, dinky little kick. No great advantage. Great tackle on that occasion. It came from Buchner. And players scrimmage. One of them was Mellon. He was wrapped up, and we'll have another ball up in this forward pocket.
The Gold
in front of the change rooms.
Yeah, Gold Coast finding it really hard to get the ball out of their defensive area.
Nichols and Ives in the ruck. There's a mismatch if you've ever seen it. But Ives gets the clearance away, kicks it, and just squeezes it in for a point. Bit of David and Goliath, if you like. Tom Nichols. Tom Nichols, he would be...
203.
203 centimetres. Ives, 178.
That's a fair differential. Ball's on the far side. It's with Kwabi Boakey. Little left foot kick. Trying to find his teammate there in Nutting. The ball's punched away from him. Nutting ends up handballing it backwards with Michael Barlow now. Kicks it long inside 50. Gross at the front of the pack. Gets absolutely crunched. Will take the free kick. Aspley will get the advantage. It goes into the middle. Buchner. Beautiful pick up around the ankles. Gets the handball away. Deft little touch. What's happened there? The umpire's called a little push in the back. Could have disadvantaged Aspley by bringing it back. But James Ives will take the free kick. So James Ives, centre half back, goes across to the outer side, sees a man all by himself in Allen. Puts it to left half forward. The accumulator, Payne, gets it back. Now chips it inside 50. There's Jono Freeman. If the other one was within his range, Kangaroos right on 50 here in a similar spot and should be able to at least hit the distance. It's all a matter of accuracy.
Just like the way they're structured up that forward line, Mark. They're giving Freeman plenty of room to lead. Bushner is another one that's led on 3 occasions, and James Nellis. So they've got 3 good leading forwards.
So better entries, it looks like, into forward 50 as well in the Gold Coast at the moment.
Cleaner. So Freeman, 55 metres out. This one holds up a bit. Nichols made his way to the front, couldn't quite take it. It's shunted out there. Jesse Lonergan's favoured by the bounce, but he gets taken away from the ball. Well done by Eddie Mallon. He's going to get the ball back now, Mallon. Right on the boundary line, chipping pass, nothing doing there, and the Gold Coast defence muck each other up. Lonergan taken over the boundary line without the ball, but there'll be a throw in. They got in each other's way there, the Gold Coast Suns defence. Mackenzie Willis was one of them.
Jasker, I think, the other one.
He looked a little bit groggy there, Mackenzie Willis. He copped a heavy bump, but got up reasonably quickly. So Nichols and Nellis, the former winning it, but Payne, he just gets in the right place at the right time. Stanley has his kick smothered. Warren, he'll just try and tap to the advantage. He does that now. They'll bring the ball back in. That was Jordan Hayden, but Gold Coast come away with it. Here's Shears. He's tackled by Swallow. It's a good tackle because he could have gotten his back there, but just, I suppose, went to his knees to avoid really putting all his weight on his back. So very well done. So ball up. Spencer, big boy he is. Shear comes through. On there by Brodie. That was Lonergan. So we'll have a free kick just off the ball there, and I think it was for holding after the contest, after disposal. So the man who'll take it on this occasion will be Will Brodie.
He looks to the left, just looking for a chipping pass, and finds his teammate there in Wig. Wig inside 50, and that's a good mark. Taken right.
Is that Nutting?
Yeah,
Connor Nutting. Broadbeach product, again, another academy product, taken in the draft last year at number 55 for the Gold Coast. Just got that front position and then did not give it up. It's going to be a difficult kick here. You're almost kicking into the wind, you'd think, as it's coming across the ground, but it is swirling.
He is going to have to start this at the right goalpost.
You'd think so. He lets go from right on 50. You can see it. That's beautifully delivered. Connor Nutting kicks the Gold Coast second goal. So it's 2-2-14 to Aspley, 2-1-13 to the Suns with 27.5 gone in the first term on Neefle TV. Bob Batty.
Yeah, nice goal to Connor Nutting. Hasn't been involved a lot in this first quarter. Did play mainly through their academy as a defender and wingman. So obviously they're giving him some experience up forward. And that was a good chest mark. Met the ball at its highest peak, but took it on the chest, went back and kicked it beautifully. So we've seen some nice set shots go sailing through. Jono Freeman's as a ripper, but that one was equally just as good.
So a lot of stats on the board that are reasonably equal between the two sides. Inside 50s Gold Coast way, or in fact Aspley's way 10-7, clearances 12-11 Gold Coast way. They look like they'll get another one here. Will they? Shear, Scrimshaw, yes they will. Scrimshaw comes out, tries to kick the worm burner. That won't get you too many points with your teammates who are forwards. Now Stanley, he goes over the top. Warren just bumps in, makes a contest. That was Willis. He laid the tackle. Was Warren. Castledine feeds the ball out. Ball just fed back here. I'll just try and extricate the ball from their defence. Jack Stanley again now. Now they find a little bit of room. And on that occasion, it was a good kick by Clearland. Finds Mellon. Now to Hampton. And they whacks here. Little left footer. Just misses his target. Coming through as big Spencer couldn't quite take it. Well done on that occasion by Harrison. Feeds the ball back, although they might still be in a bit of strife here. Just trying to spin out of trouble was Jasker and can't do so. The tackle was laid by the Aspley forwards and the ball held up very well inside the Aspley forward 50.
And a lot of players there keeping it nice and congested. So Nichols at the back, slaps it forward. Toy goes in for Aspley. And Scrimshaw for the Gold Coast. He can't quite pick it up. A lot of bodies coming through now. It's just hacked out of the defence. Payne's advantaged by the bounce. He lets it go. Hampton picks it up now for Aspley. Shoots a handball over the top there to Arnold. He can't quite pick it up. Now Schoenfeld. Well, he did about a 360, so the umpires paid that he was holding the ball too long. William Gowers with the free kick. Former Swans Academy member. Now playing for the Hornets. Kicks it inside 50. It's all Gold Coast there. They mucked it up again. No communication as Spencer drops the mark. Harrison Arnold gets the handball away. Nice tackle by Reece Toy for Aspley, but then Barlow picks it up for the Suns. He just hoiks it out of the area. That's probably not a bad option. A bit of pace shown here by Connor Nutting as well to make that contest happen. It goes towards the boundary line. And there it is. That's quarter time, and it's a one-point ball game. It's the Aspley Hornets 2-2-14 to the Suns 2-1-13.
Well, Bob, it was a very interesting opening. A lot of the stats sort of say it was an even game. Possession-wise, 84-80 Aspley's way. Inside 50s, 12-7 Aspley's way. That's probably the only real major difference in the contest. Hit-outs going the Gold Coast way, 17-15. And tackles 26-20. There's been plenty of those tackles in that first quarter. How did you see the style of both sides as it stacked up through that first quarter, Bob?
Oh, I love the contest. Wasn't it hard to get the ball on the outside? They just really lock you up, and the defensive tackling from the Gold Coast Suns was equal by the Aspley Hornets. Real intense and purpose there from the John Blair coached Aspley team. It's what we didn't see a lot of last year, I think. Aspley, with the way they attacked the ball and also the way that they went in and tried to clear the ball. But look, Aspley had some real winners in Payne, Swallow and Toy around the football. But Gold Coast Suns kept at it, and their young blokes tackled well. And look, they got a couple of goals there late through Lonigan and Nutting, and they've evened that game up. But it's been a real good contest.
Yeah, it's Neefle TV at quarter time, 2-2-14 to Aspley, 2-1-13 to the Gold Coast Suns. We're with our broadcast partner, Bar TV, and proudly supported by Elastoplast. We are streaming live on Neefle TV, and we'll be back with the second quarter for you in just a moment.
still. No idea which way it's going.
And here we are back at Graham Road, Aspley, for the round one NEFL TV clash between the Aspley Hornets and the Gold Coast Suns, streaming live with our broadcast partner Bar TV and proudly supported by Elastoplast. Michael Price and Mark Kennedy calling all of your action, and the Encyclopedia of Queensland Footy and Bob Batty with your special comments. And boys, a brilliant close contest in this first quarter, and really looking forward to the rest of the game here in beautiful conditions. A little windy, Bob, but both teams, there's nothing in it really.
No, it's been a great contest, hasn't it? Very hard at the footy. No easy kicks. Not much run and carry. It's been very difficult to get the ball out wide and get some space. But look, that goes credit to both teams with their defensive work and their ability to transition from back line to forward line. That would help. And certainly, I would think that. Certainly, I better pick up the microphone. There you go, boys.
As I say, we've just got a few teething problems here. It's round one, and the players are doing it too. Here's Mark Kennedy.
Well, we are all friends here in the commentary box. We thought we were just having a chat. Lonergan takes it out of the middle, right inside forward 50. It was a penetrating kick. It got over the back of the pack, and then coming out to meet it, and just bobbing up there was Charlie Ballard, the boy from South Australia, Mitcham, on the southern suburbs, the inner southern suburbs of Adelaide.
He played
via
in
Sturt.
Yeah, he played in premierships in the under-18s and the reserves.
Very successful club in the SANFL is Sturt. And he shoots for goal and just hangs it out to the right. So the breeze is coming towards us. So he should have started that on the left goalpost to give those of you watching at home a bit of an idea of how the breeze is going to affect that ball as Jackson Allen kicks a little worm burner up the middle and finds Hampton.
So scores a level, 2-2-14 apiece here at Graham Road. Long kick towards Jake Spencer. Takes the mark in front of Nichols. Great to see him, former Melbourne player from the AFL. He kicks it into the middle. Again, Hampton kicks it forward, looking for Warren. Strong mark, extended the arms and took it 45 metres out. He's on a sharp angle. Sees something he likes short, drops it in front of Jono Freeman. And with his goal-kicking form at the moment, why wouldn't you? So Freeman will have a shot to answer the quick one from the Gold Coast Suns, and he'll let this one go from just on the 50.
Yeah, that was poor defence there from Maxie Spencer then. Spencer guarded the mark, should have put young Harrison Arnold on the mark and should have gone back onto Freeman. But the way he kicked that first one, good chance of kicking his second.
Of course, recruited by Aspley from the Brisbane Lions list. He starts it right. It curls back in, but not far enough. Right on the line. The mark's taken by Mackenzie Willis. So it didn't trouble the scorers. That's a good mark from Willis. Now he's right on the goal line. Some good work on the mark. It was a dodgy kick. Could be a free kick to Aspley for in the back there. The umpire has called it that way. The infringer was Jacob Dawson, who was underneath that.
James Nellis.
It was James Nellis. And again, a goal kicker. Kicked the first goal of the game at the 4-minute mark of the first term, James Nellis. And this is probably not the worst spot to have a shot from. But it's close.
Well, yeah. I was going to say the breeze is coming across us. So this is all right to us. So it is going to be a bit of a tricky kick.
Here he lets it go. Gives it a lot of height, and the wind takes it straight across the face of goal, out of bounds on the full. It'll be a free kick to the Suns in their right back pocket.
Yeah, not the best method, I don't think. I think he should have punched it low at that right-hand goalpost and just brought the ball back inside. Scrimshaw looked to took it uncontested in the finish, but couldn't quite do so. There's Brody, and he tried to give it back to Scrimshaw, but the ball went over the line, so we'll have a throw in. And it'll be thrown in at 52 metres around from Aspley's goal commentary side of the ground. Scores are dead level. No real clear winner, but Lonergan comes away with the ball, does well. Kicks the ball down the line right in front of us here. Gross is underneath it. Nutting comes hard. Impacted the contest. Ballard just gets his foot to it. Fortuitously falls into Boki. He gives it off. Looking on that occasion and just running in, kicking the goal was Bowie. Not the most conventional way to do it. Boki to Bowie. It doesn't matter because right now it's a major. Gold Coast, they're in front by a goal.
Yeah, good contest up here on the half-forward line from Connor Nutting. They brought the ball to ground. Looked like Aspley had the numbers, and they really worked the ball forward well, and two of their academy boys involved in that goal. And Lonnie Hampton had the chance to probably clear it away or punch it through, and unfortunately lost his footing. And in the end, an easy goal there for the Gold Coast Suns.
They lead this one now by 5 points. The Hornets 2-3-15 to the Suns 3-2-20.
6 points I have it. 3-2-20 to 2-2-14.
Well,
That's
scoreboard.
what I have it on the champion data stats.
Scoreboard needs to be revisited. So it's Callum Castledine who gets the clearance, kicks it to left half forward, reading it nicely. There was Spencer. He goes to play on, loops it over the top. It's Lonergan, back to Spencer, and a handball to Barlow. Right on the boundary, hoiks it forward as he gets bumped. It's right on the 50. Payne for Aspley, into the middle. Castledine gets the handball back to the centre-half back position. Jordan Hayden now kicks it towards Warren. Good contest, punched away from him by Jasker. They tow it forward though. Aspley still full of running. Long kick to the goal square. Spencer goes the fist and they rush it through for a behind. That's the one the scoreboard was looking for. 2-3-15 to the Suns 3-2-20. I'm going to go with you, Kanka, because that's exactly how I've got it as well.
That's a push on the contest, so Lonergan will take the free kick. We'll work with the champion data stats. So Lonergan comes to the commentary side of the ground. If that goes over the top of Dawson, which it does, it was always going to be in trouble to go over the boundary line. And that is probably a bit of an error, considering the fact that they should have taken the ball out of their defensive line there. So a bit of a skill error, allowing Aspley to come and attack. Spencer does well in front of Nichols, but Nichols goes to ground. Stolen by Payne, and he tried to pick the pocket of Lonergan, but just couldn't quite hang on to it. The ball juggled over the line. We'll do it all again.
Interesting to see for Aspley. Big Will Walbers is doing the running around. He was in the mix and warming up with the team all the way up until the opening bounce, and Jake Spencer took his place in the side.
As Spencer, I just said, his partner has had a water broke this morning and was a chance to pull out of this side, but has chosen to play. It was a good mark there by Nutting, and the pass was equally adept and finds Charlie Ballard. Ballard off one step, not quite the kick you'd like if you're a forward when it comes in like that and the ball bounced and goes over the boundary line. We'll have it thrown in inside the Suns forward 50.
Yeah, look, after such a beautiful kick from Connor Nutting, which gave him every advantage to take the mark, he didn't give his teammate up the field any chance with a one-step preparation.
So the throw in, you see the wind take that. It dropped short. Barlow actually handballed it straight over the boundary line. The umpire's going to call that deliberate. The bench underneath has called it as well. So it'll be an Aspley free kick and it'll go to the accumulator. Is it? Yep, it is. Matthew Payne. He decides to play on. Goes to the goal square. Goes across. It's a dangerous kick. Back of the pack's Jack Stanley. He gathers. Handball backwards. Doesn't find a teammate in Hayden. Over the boundary line, there'll be a throw in. There's a bit of a conference going on here. Did it come off a boot? Just put the... Oh, no.
Dropped his whistle.
Drop the whistle. There's been the spare whistles, but I tell you what, I didn't know that the umpires carried a spare in their pocket. Well played by the central umpire there.
He was looking for the sandpaper down there.
Yeah, don't look for the sandpaper in the pants. It's not happening here at Graham Road. Ball bounces in front of Payne. He gets to the boundary line. Handball to Ives. Good work in tight from Aspley. Hayden now. Long kick down the outer side. It bounces awkwardly for Nellis, who controls it beautifully. Spins around, gets around a couple, then delivers a pass to centre half forward. Great work from James Nellis. Now Pearce kicks it long to the goal square. Running back was Buchner, who took the mark and dropped it through. But give that one to James Nellis. What a beautiful piece of work in the middle of the ground as Aspley get another one. And it is 3-3-21 to the Suns 3-2-20.
Well, James Nellis, we've already sung his praises once today in terms of going to meet the ball, but the play through the middle of the ground there was exquisite. And just to really gather the ball in the first instance, have the awareness to hold on to the ball at the right time, and then to deliver the pass under pressure was a fantastic way to go about his football, and a great start to season 2018 from James Nellis.
Good for those two Tasmanian boys to get involved in the game too. They've been fairly quiet, so that'll certainly help both Bushner and also Pearce.
So in the middle again, Spencer just stayed on his feet there, didn't jump, but coming away was Brodie. Takes a bounce, inside forward 50, lines him up, and just to the left. A little bit too easy out of the middle, but good work there by Will Brodie.
Just took the game on, and that's what they've got to do. As Gavin Gross comes in from Aspley and bombs it to Jono Freeman. And again, Max Spencer does beautifully. He's just starting to work his way on top of Jono there. So Spencer kicks it back inside 50 from whence it came. The front there was Ballard, punched away from him by Gross. Now it's chipped out. Here comes Scrimshaw, but the mark taken for Aspley by William Gowers. He's at left half back. Now he's going to go back to the goal square to find Dougie Lawrence. He fumbles, has time to pick it up. He's tackled, breaks the tackle, gets it back to Gowers. Gowers in trouble. Picks it up and he's dumped to ground. Ball stuck underneath him. What's the umpire going to do? Umpire Brett Ritchie hugs himself and they'll ball it up 30 metres from the Gold Coast goal, right forward pocket.
Did you notice Will Gowers there? He actually turned his body away from the umpire, so the umpire couldn't tell whether he was making a genuine attempt or not. See Spencer, he just threw the shoe at it, didn't connect. And coming out there is Swallow, good in traffic. Is the former Kangaroos captain. The kick probably wasn't quite as good, but coming out to meet it there was Freeman. Does well, plays on quickly. They've got time and space, but nobody in front of them at the moment. Kicks one short. Finds Mallon. Have to work it backwards now. Cleland has probably overdid it from that point of view. Working hard there was Hayden. And now it was Arnold inside forward 50. And trying to run onto it there was Beardsall. And the ball just ricochets over the boundary line. Aspley attacking that out of side. They've got it in the forward pocket.
Mackenzie Willis there just getting through and propelling it over the boundary line. Scores a level with 12 minutes gone of the second term here at Graham Road. Nichols slaps it down in the path of Lonergan. He's immediately tackled by Eddie Mallon. Ball stuck to his chest. The umpire will ball it up in the similar spot that the boundary umpire dropped it at. Only 30 metres from the Aspley goal. Good game of footy for round one on Neefle TV. Nichols slaps it down. Mallon goes the snap. Gold Coast with the numbers. Ball bounces freely, though. Ends up, dangerous handball across the face. Buchner. Gold Coast have got it now through Arnold. His first game of Neefle footy's a pressure cooker. Umpire has called
a sling tackle.
Sling tackle,
Yeah,
so it will
slung.
go. And there's a little bit going on behind the scenes as well. And it will be a free kick to the Gold Coast. Go to Arnold.
So he'll go down the line. The target's Ballard. Lawrence was right there with him. The ball spills over the boundary line.
Been a good
the
physical
umpire throw it in.
Good physical contest, hasn't it, Kanga? Just both sides throwing their bodies in at every contest.
Yeah, just need a lift. Schoenfeld's hardly been sighted, the boy from WA. They need a lift from him and Brodie around the ball.
Just the one disposal, Schoenfeld. That was Lonigan. They're off to Foster. The kick wasn't a good one. Gross thought he was going to wrap it up, but they couldn't do so. Then just bustled the ball forward to centre half forward Nichols and to reach right in deep to get it. Yeah. Who's going to emerge with the football? Kicking off the ground was Freeman. And it comes back the other way from Leslie. Stanley just gets a toe on it, tries to put it to his advantage, but well done there by Shear. Just waxes, gets it back. Barlow was the man he waxed with. But the handball just found Shear over the boundary line, so we'll have it thrown in right in front of the Gold Coast Suns coaching box where Nick Malcheski is calling the shots.
Throw in. It'll be Nichols versus Jono Freeman for Aspley. Freeman with the front spot, slaps it down. Now Schoenfeld, you called for him to get a touch. He's got one, Bob. He dribbles it into the middle. It's taken there by Baru, thrown down. Boakey gets in there for the Gold Coast, extracted there by Foster. He rumbles it forward. It bounces for Gross, who controls it. Very good experience. Didn't quite control it, just accidentally dribbled it over the boundary line for a throw-in. Just in front of the scoreboard, which we believe is incorrect. The scores are 3-3-21 apiece with 14 and a bit gone here on Neefle TV through Bar TV.
Freeman takes front spot. It's it down to Gross. He'll just load up on that left foot. Buchner. He just tried to take it. Well done by Max Spencer for the Coast. Scrimshaw tried to take with one hand and then took it and gave it to Dawson. And the boundary umpire said it was actually touched. So the ball will be thrown in. I think you'll find that Jacob Dawson, he gave up on it and said, I've kicked that out of bounds on the full. So
not much of a conference there. The central umpire in Brett Ritchie decided to...
I think he got away with one.
Just decided to say yes, it was touched.
Just a bit laconic there. Certainly Scrimshaw, wasn't he? One-handed, should have gone both hands, taken that mark.
Freeman went with both hands, slapped it down in the path of pain. Taken down by Barlow, was all over him. Now Swallow gets involved. Scrimshaw takes him down. Ball stuck underneath. Umpire says, we'll ball it up right in front of the interchange gates, the commentary boxes and the coaches' boxes here at Graham Road. We've got 26 degrees here, a beautiful day in Brisbane. A little bit of wind. It's quite swirly as Payne roves it. Loops a handball over to Swallow. Confronted. Lovely handball to Joyce. Breaks a tackle. Gets it to Warren. Warren's in trouble. And tackle to the ground, but Joyce gets the ball back. Inside 50. Just. Buchner gets a toe to it. It's just outside 50 now, and Ben Warren. And who was the other one in Harrison Arnold takes it over the boundary line together right on the 50. A lot of pressure in this game. 16 minutes gone. Scores are level. Both sides have scored 3-3-21.
So getting it down with Spencer. Did it well to Toy, to Swallow. Kicks it high. Nellis goes. Had the run of it. Couldn't take it with him. Well done there by Ives. Goes around the corner. It's Buchner from the pocket. And Aspley kick one down right in front of their faithful. That's his second for the afternoon and gives the Hornets a one-goal lead here. And we have played 16 and a half minutes of this second quarter.
Fantastic hands there from James Ives. There was a sort of a contested footy there to be won. He won it beautifully and quick hands out the back. And Buchner did not even hesitate one little bit. He just put it on his right foot and it swung beautifully through the goals. The boy from Clarence, he kicked a lot of goals last year playing for the Tasmanian Academy team and certainly knows where the goals are. So that'll give him a lot of confidence, that goal.
So he's moved up to Aspley and playing in the Neefle with a bid to firm up his chances of moving up into the AFL system. Kicked the last two goals of the game, the boy from Clarence. He's done well as the Gold Coast extract the ball from the middle. There's Arnold, who gave it back to Barlow, kicks it to centre half forward. Running back, very courageous, was Jordan Arnold, another Tasmanian product from Glenorchy for Aspley. Could have been a push in the back there for the Suns. The ball spills forward. Foster, he's tackled. Ball's underneath him. What's the umpire? Circling, holding the agate. You know when they're circling slowly, like a sea eagle over a small whiting. They're just about to ping him for holding the ball. Out in the far wing now, Andrew Swallow, right against the boundary line. Drops it into the path of Nellis, punched away from him. Nellis keeps going. Got the front position. Swallow could have been tackled high. Nothing doing. Toy goes in again. Aspley and Nellis racking up the stats in the middle there. It's Arnold. Gets the ball out to Dougie Lawrence.
So Lawrence, they're just retreating here, the Hornets. They go all the way back to Stanley in his defensive 50, and the kick needed to be precise, and it wasn't. And the ball runs. I think the build-up to what they were trying to do was okay, but just the skill execution, that final kick, just needed to be better to actually hold on to that footy.
Just like the courage of Jordan Arnold, number 18 there for Aspley, the boy from Glenorchy, 21-year-old. Twice he's now run with the flight of the footy, put his body on the line and done very, very well for his team.
John Blair would love that, wouldn't he?
So Spencer threw his opposite number out of the way. Coming through hard was Mellon. Doesn't mind it, hard like a cat's head. Goes to Swallow. Goes to half forward, but nobody's there. Willis drops what he should have taken. And then getting up there and thrown off it was Harrison Pearce, and he'll win the free kick. In fact, no, he won't. It was actually a free kick before him. Was it holding the ball?
Yeah. Direct disposal, I think he's given.
Okay, and it'll go to Mackenzie Willis at half back.
Willis with a short ball finds Jacob Dawson. Played in the QAFL Premiership side for Palm Beach Currumbin last year, member of the Gold Coast Academy. Also played a few near-full games. Now he plays on. Handball to Jesse Lonigan, right in front of the interchange gates. He goes up to half forward. Nichols set himself over the top of Spencer. Takes a ripper. Umpire's called play on. Chips it towards centre half forward. He saw something he liked, and it's Scrimshaw. Good mark there from Tom Nichols, who's been in some good form today.
It was the Twin Towers revisited there, wasn't it? The Nichols above Spencer.
Into the goal square, and another good mark. There he is again.
Might be young
Is
Powell.
that Jack Leslie or Harrison? We
That's
can't
Will
tell.
Powell, I think.
Will Powell. In the middle of the pack, certainly is number 27, Will Powell. Again, Bobby, he didn't play any under-18 football for WA last year. Went straight from the Claremont Colts, straight into the draft. Taken at number 19 in the 2017 draft. He comes in from the top of the goal square, makes the goal umpire do a bit of work, but he's knocked it through. So scores a level again. 4-3, 27 apiece with 21 minutes gone of the second term on NEFL TV, and a beauty. Round one for the NEFL.
Yeah, some good kicking and good marking there, wasn't it? Nichols really had the set on big Jake Spencer. He had to get up pretty high to get above the 205 centimetre Spencer. Did well, and then kicked it beautifully to Scrimshaw, who kicked it high into the square. And good to see the young fella take a good grab like that. Obviously, Scotty Clayton saw a lot that he liked, and all the recruiting people there at the Suns, and his games in the Colts obviously was enough for him to get through the draft. And that's a good goal for him and give him some confidence.
Ball back again. Spencer and Nichols go at it. Nichols would be pretty happy he got that little bit of a fly, and Spencer will be dirty. Laser tackle does that man Spencer. And then away was Ben Warren, just get in the middle of the ground here. Nichols lays a heavy tackle, and the umpire, he was just going, wait, wait, wait.
He's circling.
Like a seagull, and he gives it, and then he loves to give it 50 more for a little bit of bat chat. Harrison Pearce and Tom Nichols will go down 50 further metres and just about in range.
Yes, Tom Nichols has laid a really good physical presence in the game. We said it earlier. Here he goes. He's going to look for something shorter here, Kanga.
And that's poor checking there by the Aspley defence as Connor Nutting takes an uncontested mark there inside forward 50. Nichols just set it up 15, 20 metres from goals. And Nutting can go back. He'll shoot it from 25 metres directly in front.
Yes, he's looked dangerous up there, hasn't he? He's led well at the footy. He's marked it well and kicked it well so far. Let's see if he can continue with his straight shooting.
And Nutting makes no trouble. That's number 2 for him this afternoon. And one in the first, or one in the second now. And all of a sudden, the Gold Coast Suns, they are a goal ahead, and just got that little bit of momentum going their way all of a sudden.
Yeah, the big fella Nichols, hasn't he? He's made a big influence. Just seems to be getting on top of Spencer at the moment. And as you mentioned, Pricey, his work around the ground and he's working close with his tackling, and his second efforts has been fantastic. And I'm sure Nick Malcheski will be very, very pleased with the big fella's performance to date.
So 5-3, 33 to the Gold Coast to 4-3, 27 to the Aspley Hornets. Spencer over the back to Swallow. Now back to Ives, who hooks it around the body. It bounces towards centre half forward. Big clash. Mackenzie Willis did well. Got the ball to Shear. The 1-2 back to Willis, and then he kicks it into the car park. Out of bounds on the full. So the free kick will be taken by Aspley. It'll go to William Cleland. Just some good hands, and again, I suppose with this many new recruits, there's got to have to be a little bit of understanding. He's kicked it that far out of the ground, we've lost the ball.
I think he's kicked it into the neighbouring houses.
We need a new Sharon here. And at the houses, there it is. It's just been thrown down to Cleland. So we'll get this going. He's just forward of the interchange gates. You can see the wind hold that ball up in the pocket, fisted away towards the boundary line. We'll get another throw in 35 metres out from the Aspley goal, the left forward pocket. They're trailing by that one goal.
We're waiting for the ball to come back yet again.
Somebody's trying to souvenir that one.
Has it. Throws it in. Holds up in that little bit of breeze. It was Freeman and Nichols. Now Payne on hands and knees. Gets it back to Cleland. Just lobs it up with the left. Looks a bit unconventional. Going back with the flight there was Nichols. Does well. Gets it on the bounce. Just feeds it out. A little bit of space to move. The kick wasn't a good one. Arnold. That was a good spoil on him, but he gives away the free kick. And it'll go towards Baru. So Emmanuel Baru gets in what was a dangerous position for Aspley. It was a dangerous kick, but it managed to be held onto. That's not a good kick. Clearland. It's a ball to Swallow. What can he do? The foot skills of Andrew Swallow find another one of the recruits in Jono Freeman. And big guns. Jono Freeman, he can shoot for goal. He sliced the last shot from about the same position.
How's about the pass? The experience of Swallow, just a deft little touch, and there was no way the defender could get near Jono Freeman. Then it was just put right between the two pectorals.
So Jono Freeman going to have to shoot it from about 38 metres. Kicks it low, kicks it hard, and caresses it over the goal umpire's hat here, and scores level yet again here at Graham Road. 5-3, 53 apiece. We have played the best part of 26 minutes into this second quarter. Bob, seesawing contest.
Yeah,
it's a real arm wrestle.
Yes, it's a very good arm wrestle. Emmanuel Baru, bad kick when you're coming out of defence. In that, I'm sure the coaching staff will get the message out to him. You've got to hit that boundary side or chip it short. You don't go inboard back into the corridor, because that's what's going to happen to Andrew Swallow. Found Freeman. Two AFL experienced players made the young fella pay dearly.
We've got a belter here on Neefle TV for round one. Aspley in the Gold Coast scores are level 33 apiece late in the second term. Putting himself in was Shear, another product of the Palm Beach Currumbin. It's almost like what Brian Taylor calls
the factory.
Yes, the footy factory at the Palm Beach Currumbin. There's heaps of them coming through the system, doing beautifully. His toy goes in. He's tackled by Jesse Lonergan. The ball's in one of the centre circles. We'll do it all again.
Neil Mackay would be very pleased to hear you say that. He's in charge of their footy program down there at the school. Does a great job, Neil
Just
Mackay.
Run through the list. You've got Shear, you've got Max Spencer. There's a whole bunch of them there as well. Dawson, as the ball moves forward for the Gold Coast. Mark there. Nice one. Taken by Will Powell. Goal kicker just a bit earlier, puts it into the forward pocket. Schoenfeld guarded the ball, but then got knocked out of it by Stanley. It's Ives. Loops a handball over the top. Coming back in board was Hayden, and then hoiks it up in the air. Jesse Lonergan. Broad across the shoulders. Jesse Lonergan be hard to move out of position. Takes the ball, and that's a mongrel of a kick, actually. Drops it in front of a teammate, but he's well held. That's Baru. Tackled to the ground, the ball stuck underneath him. We'll ball it up 45 metres out.
Just like the defensive work of Aspley so far today. Look at a chap like Ben Warren playing centre half forward and doing a lot of work back in defence as well.
So Toy couldn't quite take it with him. The Suns just tried to clear the area, couldn't do so now. He butters up again. He's a hard nut. Here's Reece Toy, a veteran of the Aspley Football Club. He'll get up off the ground, 100-plus games in the NEAFL. Spencer is beaten by Nichols on that occasion, bursting through his Lonigan, right on 50, just chips it around, doesn't find his target. Gross tries to come through, can't do so. Schoenfeld just gets a handball out. Hampton gets it back to Jackson Allen, and then the clearing kick found the mitts of Freeman. The kick wasn't good. Reece Toy, almost a 360. They'll get out of this. Jackson Allen through the middle of Graham Road. Chips it across. Henry Joyce beaten to it by Beardsall. They've got a 2-on-1 here. Decides not to use Joyce as Beardsall. Not sure where to go now. Now he uses Joyce. He'll turn around. Goes to the top of the goal square. Freeman just decides to go up with the one arm. And then the ball goes over the boundary line off the contest. I think he was happy to concede the clearance and knock it over the boundary line. He wasn't in a position.
Mackenzie Willis has got one right in the lower part of the stomach, if you want to call it that. Not feeling good as we come back. Still bent over. He must have copped a beauty, and he's moving very gingerly.
I think John O'Freeman was looking for Matty Payne out the back, but he got too much connection on the spoil, didn't it? Went well into the social club area there.
So the throw in, left forward pocket for the Hornets. They're pressing again. Freeman over the back. Nichols again doing some of his own groundwork. Holds it up. He's got two Aspley midfielders, one in each arm. Ball stuck underneath. We'll have a ball up 25 metres again from the Aspley goal. I've got the numbers back, the Gold Coast. Every player on the field is forward of the centre circles. Nichols breaks his way in front, taps it down, then gets another handball out. Lonigan does a 360, gets the handball away. Close quarters handball from Aspley. It's Beardsall, smothered and into the behind post. So we'll get a throw in right beside the behind post. Left forward pocket for Aspley. Currently 5-3-33 apiece, 31 minutes gone of this second term.
So right against the behind post, the ball will be thrown in. Aspley pressing here, Freeman front spot. Nichols right there with him. Nichols wins it, kicks the ball out from the contest, does it well in the finish and finds Boakey. So Boakey kicks it up right in the middle of Graham Road. Nutting comes around. It's going to be a foot race here. And Jackson Allen, he's got front spot. He's trying to guard the ball as Gross gets back and beats them all after a little bit of jostling. The ball comes over the top there. Jordan Arnold. The kick needs to be precise. And Matty Payne gets there just in time before Will Brodie collided.
It was great shepherding work there from Jackson Allen just to keep Baru off Gavin Gross there so they could move the ball forward. So Payne, he goes backwards to go forwards. Back to Jackson Allen, the man we were just talking about. Kicks it down to the outer wing. Good fisting effort there by Harrison Arnold. First game of near full footy for the Gold Coast Suns. Puts it over the boundary line on central wing, and we'll get another throw in.
Saw Harrison Arnold play an academy game a couple of weeks ago. First time I've had a look at him. He's been injured most of last year with a knee injury, but he's a likely customer.
So Tom Nichols and Jake Spencer, fascinating duel it's been. Spencer double hands it down in front of Toy. Good physical work from Toy. Then gets the handball to Payne. Loops one over to Ives, who does a little dance. Handball over the top. Here's the finish. Is it good enough? No, it's not. Across the face of goal, and it dribbles for a throw in. Some beautiful hand movement there for Aspley and moving it quickly down the outer side there, Bob.
They've looked good out in space, haven't they, today? Of the two teams, they've moved the ball certainly much better than the Gold Coast Suns when they've had some space and linked up beautifully.
Thrown in. Nichols uncontested. The ball out there by Foster, and Ben Warren takes the mark. He's going to have to give it his absolute best here, and he ran off the mark anyway, so no dice, says the field umpire. And the scores will stay as they are at the beginning of this game, all locked up. 5-3, 33 apiece. It was a fascinating second quarter. Aspley kicked the 3 goals, 1. And the Gold Coast 3-2. So it's been tight all the way through the contest. I think we're setting ourselves up for a hard, tough, enthralling game of NEAFL here And who's going to come out the winner? We're going to find out in the second half. But how do you see the first half there, Bob Batty?
Yeah, as you said, Kanga, a fantastic contest, hasn't it? It's been, neck and neck all in both quarters. No quarter given from both sides. Both coaches have got a little bit to work with their disposal, but certainly the endeavour and the intent and the attack on the footy from both sides has been fantastic. Aspley have had good players in Payne, Swallow, Toy, Freeman and Nellis. And Gold Coast, none better than Tom Nichols. That quarter was very good. Mackenzie Willis, Connor Nutting's been good. And also Jesse Lonigan, and I'd throw in also Michael Barlow. They've also been good around the packs. But look, nothing much in this contest that could go either way. Eddie Sansbury there, also one of the runners for the Gold Coast, ex-Aspley. So he'd have a boot in both camps, I'm sure.
Yeah, might have been a Vintel there as well.
But, no, fantastic first half of footy. Really looking forward to the second half.
Yes, you mentioned Tom Nichols there, though, Bob. I was really interested to see the way he's gone about it. Very physical. Could that have been a directive? I know he's got wits in front of him for the Gold Coast AFL side. And could it have been a directive from the coaching staff for him to harden it up a little bit?
Well, certainly he's been in the wilderness, hasn't he, for probably 4 or 5 years. He was one of their initial players in 2011 when they started up the Gold Coast Suns. So he's been around the mark for a long time, the boy from Sandringham Dragons, and probably left a little bit back in the sheds in years where he's really wanted to really play well. He's had a lot of injuries. So, look, this is a big year for him, and certainly with the way he started today, he's certainly putting his hand up and saying, I want to play here, Stewie Jew.
Absolutely. He's had 26 hit-outs to go with his 8 tackles, which is a team high for tackles. He's had 10 disposals, as opposed to Jake Spencer, who's had the 8 disposals with the 17 hit-outs. So it's +9 for Tom Nichols in that regard. Probably one of the better games I've seen from Tom Nichols, and he's really sort of setting the pace for the Gold Coast Suns, I would have thought. Yeah,
it's a great contest, isn't it? I mean, I like the fact that he's doing things at ground level and really competing with Spencer up in the air. And, of course, nobody likes having your direct opponent take a big hanger on you, and that's exactly what Tom Nichols did on Jake Spencer. So I could see the steam coming out Spencer's ears, so it'll be interesting, and I think it's going to be a great contest in the second half of the ruckman and, of course, of the game in general as well.
Yeah, if we have a look at the disposals, Aspley probably broke away in that first half with regards to having the ball in hand. So they're +31 there. They're +9 in the kicks as well, +20 handball. So when they get the ball, their handball receives seem to be a little bit higher than the Gold Coast as well, which would tell you that they're moving the ball, and making up a hell of a lot more ground than the Gold Coast when the ball's out.
Yeah, when they've got some space, they've looked dangerous, haven't they? They've kicked a couple of nice goals. Nellis, I can remember one bit of play there where he set up a beautiful goal there for Buchner. And when they've had a bit of space, they've really looked dangerous, those forwards. And Freeman and Spence having a great duel back there. Freeman's also working hard going in as the second ruck. But look, fantastic game of footy. One of the best NEAFL round ones I've seen for a long, long time. So let's hope it continues in the second half.
And we'll have a crack at that second half very shortly. We're streaming live on NEAFL TV with our broadcast partner, Bar TV. And, of course, all proudly supported by the good guys at Elastoplast. Michael Price and Mark Kennedy calling your action, and Bob Batty with your special comments. We'll be back with the second half at Graham Road very shortly here on NEAFL TV. We're back at Graham Road, Aspley in Brisbane. A beautiful day for round one of the NEFL competition, 27 degrees. A little bit of wind, and it is the Aspley Hornets at home to the Gold Coast Suns. At half-time, scores are level, 5-3, 33 apiece. Michael Price and Mark Kennedy calling all of your action with Bob Batty in the special comments. We're here on NEFL TV with our broadcast partner, Bar TV and Kanga. What a great first half that was for a round one clash.
Well, it had a bit of everything. It had a bit of hard, tough, intimidating play from both sides. We had the big men clashing, and we had some really clever play and some good linking up and some good open space football at various times. What we didn't have is obviously the high scoring, real free-flowing type thing. But in saying that, this could really open up as we go along because there's been a lot of crap. Do you see it sort of opening up at some stage during the afternoon?
Look, yeah, I certainly do. I think Gold Coast have got a lot of players that, listed players that are a little bit down. Brad Shear, I mentioned, Jack Leslie, Will Powell, Josh Sons to really go on with it. And similarly for Aspley, Benny Warren and the big fella in the ruck, he really needs to do well in the second half for them to get on top.
Yeah, Jake Spencer and Tom Nichols having a real ding-dong battle in the middle, and they're going to go at it again here as we start the second half here at Graham Road. Nichols over the top, but I'll give that one to Spencer. Lonergan roves it, just hands it off to Barlow, who wobbles a mongrel inside 50. Roving it beautifully, there was Bo. Straight across the face.
Yeah, tough kick. He worked well. He was the one that got it from the back of running through the back of the square, kicking the ball long initially.
From right inside 50, he's
Pass.
Lawrence. He receives the ball. So just a little bit of incorrect disposal there. So Doug Lawrence, product of the Western Magpies, handballs it off to the accumulator in Matt Payne. Dangerous kick, and Gavin Gross, is that one of the best around your ankle slips catches you've ever seen? I reckon you 70 metres from the Aspley goal.
Yeah, no, great mark there from Gavin Gross. It's right down near his ankles and had to stretch, and his young opponent there, Connor Nutting, thought it had hit the ground. It was that close to the turf.
So no real advantage.
It's a catch-22, isn't it? They're trying to get the chip and the change direction going, Aspley, but they're not hitting their targets. It's a real worry for them at the moment.
Spencer wins that tap. It's picked up there by Harrison Arnold. He loses it. Back inside the pack it goes. Now Arnold goes again. Payne beats him to the ball. Matt Payne, he dragged it back in. He's tackled. Umpires circling again. Nothing happening. There will be a ball up in a similar spot. But once again, Matt Payne, he just gets in there, gets the ball. He is up to 16 disposals for the match.
The ball.
Hard to match his speed. Nothing. He's very, very quick.
So Nichols won the ruck, but Aspley will bring it away. This is Joyce. Gets it very close to the boundary line. In fact, too far. Out of bounds on the full. And Max Spencer will be able to bring it back in for the Suns. They're just having all sorts of problems bringing it out of their defence just at the moment. Aspley. So Spencer, he'll load it up. Just sits it up, looking for the tall target to come through, and he found one, and it was a young man in Harrison Arnold.
Jesse Lonergan doing well on the mark. Now that's better, just hitting the targets. William Cleland. The blood nut, Josh Schoenfeld.
So right in front of the Aspley clubhouse here at Graham Road, the ball thrown back in. Nichols gets his first hand to it. Well done by Barlow, gets it off to Lonergan, feeds it back to Barlow. The kick right to the top of the square.
14 points now, the Suns leading this game as Spencer versus Riley Dreghorn. We'll give that one to Spencer just as Barlow picks it up. Lets loose the Arnold puts himself in. He's picked up, tackled into the ground. There's no way. He was slammed into the
team. They've
Back at Graham Road, Aspley, the home of the Aspley Hornets for round one of NEFL TV. And at three-quarter time, it's the Gold Coast Suns, 8-8-56 to the Hornets, 5-6-36. That's a margin of 20 points after it was all square at half-time, and Aspley led by 1 point at quarter time. Michael Price and Mark Kennedy calling is with your special comments. And boys, it was a very, very close game up until that third term where the Gold Coast
Spencer just hits it forward, hoping his midfielders get onto it there, but it was the Gold Coast
starting ruckman in Nichols early in the third term, and Aspley